Andy Humphrey, Brendan Schaefer here. You can join us with a call or a text at 573-875-KTGR. Special day today, Brendan. We get not one, but two Mizzou head basketball coaches on our show today. It's pretty nice. Yeah. Yep. So Kellie Harper, Mizzou women's basketball coach, will join us at 4:25. We will hear from Dennis Gates at 5:25, the head coach of the Mizzou men's basketball team, of course. So stay tuned for both of those conversations. In the meantime, we'll talk some NFL. Big game this weekend for the Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. In a few moments, give us your over-unders for Chiefs Bills. I don't know what you're going to do with this. It is going to be very interesting coming up on Sunday late afternoon. So we'll give our best shot at over-unders coming up in a few minutes. And, of course, we'll help you out with your fantasy team with Play, Fade, Eliminate. Bit of a different time. It'll be 5:05 today when you get in your fantasy football questions. Brendan and I, at times, will try to help you out. Yeah. You're right. That is exactly right. Yeah, I can never be held accountable for any of it. Call or text us 573-875-KTGR. You can also tweet us at KTGR Big Show. We're live on YouTube at KTGR Sports. That's our channel. If you don't subscribe to it, be sure to do that. We're also live on Facebook, facebook.com/KTGR Big Show.
Now, the Big Show's Big Deal.
Well, again, no Mizzou football game this week, but news, the next one is sold out. Texas A&M, the opponent on November 8th, that is officially a sellout, which means that all of Mizzou's home football games have officially been sold out. So the streak will continue. After this season, Mizzou will have sold out each of its last 20 home football games at Memorial Stadium, dating back to 2023. Tigers get set to take on Texas A&M at 2:30 on Saturday, November 8th. In the meantime, the Chiefs get set for a big matchup in Buffalo against the Bills, kicking off at 3:25 on Sunday. The expectation is that Isaiah Pacheco, starting running back for the Chiefs, will not play in the game, dealing with a knee sprain. He missed practice again today, and so the Chiefs will roll with Kareem Hunt, Brashard Smith, and probably Elijah Mitchell as their change of pace running back. That is the Big Show's Big Deal on this 30th day of October 2025. Call or text us here at 573-875-KTGR. I saved it. All right. We'll see. 573-875-KTGR if you want to call or text us here on the show. Let's get some over-unders going for Chiefs and Bills. I mean, now that Pacheco's out, do they just go straight to Kareem Hunt for like a bulk of carries for this game and try to go that way? Or does, in fact, Brashard Smith get a legitimate shot at a load of carries for this one? And we'll see what that looks like for each of those running backs. I think though it's more so on Patrick Mahomes. Like, I don't know if it means he throws 40 times in this game, but there will be more of an emphasis to flow the offense through him, I think, when it comes to this. So that's probably where I lean as far as like I'd be interested to know what his passing total is, and I would want to hammer the over. That's where I would go. Yes. $273.5. I go over on that.
That he clears. But Andy, these games with the Bills, oftentimes we go, oh my gosh, Mahomes and Josh Allen. And then it's the defenses. And it's like the long sustained drives because the defenses are keeping everything in front. They're limiting the big plays. And it's like 7 minutes go by and you settle for a field goal or you get stopped on fourth down. And then the score isn't as high as we anticipate that it might be otherwise. All that being said, I think both these teams are going to run the ball because it's the way to kind of control the clock and keep time of possession and keep your defense off the field. But I do think the winning plays by either team will be made through the air.
It has to be. It usually is with Josh Allen, although the winning play last year was made with his legs, which is ironic enough. That element is still part of it. Like I kind of like Brendan, I won't reveal too much about what I'm going to say tomorrow, but
okay.
I feel like this is the Bills' game.
No way. Why?
Because it always happens this way. That's why.
Oh, because this isn't the one that counts?
Right.
The one that counts is in January.
Everyone's expecting this to be the game of the year, and in most cases, I'm sure it will be. It was last year when the Chiefs were undefeated.
I love it when these two teams play. I love it.
No, it is the NFL's top rivalry by far, I think, right now. It is the most compelling. It is the most epic. It is the most offensive driven, if you ask me. This is what the NFL should put up on its pedestal every single time. It's a shame that both teams are not in the same division, but they play every year because they win their divisions.
Yeah.
And so like, it's just that you have to milk that as much as possible, NFL, when it comes to marketing this game. CBS has to market the heck out of it. It's
a big one.
It will be the most watched game in the regular season this year, and it might even like surpass some records of like past years, I think.
It could be. I don't think that's overselling it by any stretch. Where do we view? Let's talk about both quarterbacks running the ball, because like we've seen Mahomes do it. We know Josh Allen does it. The rushing totals, I'm going to find them for you and throw these at you. Over under for Allen is 38.5. Mahomes is 28.5. I feel like both of these could go over.
Yeah.
You know?
They both feel like they need to make the play.
Desperate moments where it's just, I need to get 7 for my team. Those happen a lot in these types of games.
Yeah.
Now, the defenses are going to try to combat it, of course.
Sure.
Both defenses are aware of what the mobility is at the quarterback position on the other side. And sometimes we get disappointed when we look at, quarterback rushing stats. But I don't know. I think in this one, you might have both guys end up doing it enough times that they get over their number on the yardage.
Yeah. So I think with Mahomes, it's most fascinating because if I had to guess, I'm not looking at it right now, but if I had to guess, last few games or so, I bet he hasn't rushed for all that much.
Early in the season, he definitely was doing it. It felt like a little bit more. 57 yards against the Chargers, 66 against Philadelphia. And, of course, those were 2 losing efforts. But to your point, when things are going a little bit more according to the script, he doesn't run quite as much. It's interesting. The 3 Chiefs losses, he's gone for 57 or more rushing yards in all 3 of them. In the other games, now he's still effective when he takes off with it, but he's only done it 4 times per game over the past 2 wins, which have been blowouts. 4 carries for 28 yards, 4 carries for 30 yards. So your anecdotal thought ends up being relatively accurate there, Andy. But But this is a game where, like, the Chiefs' wins this year have all come by double digits.
Yeah.
Right? Every single one of them.
Right.
Giants by 13, Ravens by 17, Lions by 13, 31 over the Raiders, and then a 21-point win over the Commanders. The Chiefs have not played a close game that they've won this year. I think this will be a close game, regardless of who wins it. And so I would say that actually leans more toward Mahomes' rushing yards. I like his rushing yards more than I do Josh Allen's because it's a higher number for Allen. And Mahomes, I think, even in the games that he hasn't run as much, it seems, recently, 28 and 30.
But he's been really effective. He's averaging 6 yards a carry this year. Like that's
He's been really effective when he has decided that it's a necessity. And like we're talking about the quarterbacks, yeah, their passing is certainly going to play, but there will be third down conversions. There will be diving for the sticks. There will be measurements through electronic means, I'm sure, in this football game that help maybe decide the outcome of it. Just for example, against the Bills in the playoffs last year, 11 carries for 43 yards, 2 touchdowns for Mahomes. I really like his over at 28.5.
Yeah, man, because it only takes 4 or 5 scrambles to get there. And so that'll be a good number, I think, to look at. And then for Allen, I like his over as well for that. So I'm
trying to find what he's done in some more recent games against Kansas City. The playoff game, he went 11 for 39, so just barely would have nicked the over.
Handled pretty well when it comes to running. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's the thing. The Chiefs, I feel like this is often true, not every time, of course, but when they play like a Lamar Jackson, it's like you're very aware of what he's going to try to do to you, and you take that away if you can. With Allen, this might feel like a game where, as much as I do think he could get it in one play, I mean, he's really capable of doing exactly that. I wonder if this is a game where he does take to the air more. Just didn't have to against Carolina last week, 12 for 19, 163 yards, and ran for 7 yards. It is not a really good view of like what this is going to be. And neither are the 2 previous games that the Bills lost and they played terribly against the Patriots and the Falcons. But even in those games, he's usually 40, 53, 45 yards. Like more often than not, he's getting there. I think it'll take more carries against the Chiefs because I do think they'll effectively stop him a number of times. But I think he'll probably run the football enough that he ends up getting there. 10 for 32, though, in the regular season in 2023. In the playoffs that year, though, he went 12 for 72. So he's rushing attempts actually might be the way to go if you're in a jurisdiction of legality with Josh Allen, because double digits every time he has played the Chiefs in the past 3 occasions.
That sounds about right. 573-875-KTGR if you want to call or text in over-unders to us for Chiefs and Bills coming up on Sunday as we get set for that. You can also leave a comment on our YouTube channel or on Facebook. Okay. This, I think, pretty important too.
Okay.
Receptions for Travis Kelce. Receptions, not the yards.
Okay.
I think
the reception total for Kelce is around 4.5. I think
that's it.
Yeah, and it's actually, Andy, it's actually plus money odds at, if you were to say over 4.5, is plus 107 where I'm looking at it. What do you think about that? What does that say to you? What does that describe to you?
Well,
you like the over, obviously.
It describes that Vegas thinks that Buffalo's defense is going to hone in and it'd be like, no Kelce today or something like that.
Which is weird because it feels like as much as he can kill you, the ones, Rice and especially Worthy, if you're talking about down the field, but I imagine with not a lot of frequency are the Chiefs able to go deep on the Bills. Like you're probably going to be talking about 2 high safeties and keeping everything in front. It's going to be that type of game, but that's lends itself maybe to more Kelce if that's the case, because he's not running 50 yards downfield. Usually he's catching it at 10 to 15 to 17 to 20 yards downfield and rumbling for another 10. That's kind of the vintage Kelce look, if you ask me.
See, I see it as they might turn to him more because maybe Mahomes will feel that he needs to get the ball out a little bit quicker in this type of game. But also to the point that Kelce just seems to have found his rhythm once again. And I
That's
just don't
fair.
know if there's the correction necessary made by Vegas to make that. So I'm gonna say over. I'm a little reluctant to do it because again, they're telling me that they think
What do
differently.
they know?
What do they know? But somebody's going over in this game, and like whether they think it's Rice or Worthy or somebody else. I mean, maybe that's part of it. But I would have to think that Kelce at least gets to 5 receptions, and I would have a harder time weighing in on what the yards are going to be for him, but the receptions, I think he's going to be turned to quite a bit.
They'll probably, dink and dunk a few to him, you would figure, and like near the line of scrimmage just to get him involved. That's kind of one way to jumpstart Travis Kelce. We've seen it early in games too. I think opening drives you've seen at least one or two. I know the Raiders game, he had 2 big ones against the Raiders in that one. The one thing I'll say, let's point this out.
Yeah.
Buffalo's played 7 games. Would you have a guess as to how many receptions they have allowed to the tight end position this year through 7 games?
Well, maybe that's it. The
It's
high watermark has been like 4 or 5, maybe.
So let me just give you an example. The team that has allowed the most in the league through 7 games is the Packers. They've given up 55 receptions, about middle of the pack. A lot of teams in like the 40 to 41 range is about median. Bills have allowed 18 receptions to tight ends. 18 in 7 games, fewer than 3 per game to the position. So your stray Noah Gray touch, your stray, counts them all. They just, for whatever reason, their defense hasn't. Now, do the Chiefs use Kelce always like your prototypical tight end? A lot of times it feels like he's more like a receiver out there, right? But that's just the stat that, they've been able to shut down that position. Travis Kelce in his most recent game against the Bills was last, I guess I'm only looking at regular season, so this isn't going to be especially helpful. Only had 2 catches, though, for 8 yards in November of 2024. I guess I'll have to find out playoff what we saw in that one. I don't remember offhand. But it's the Bills' job generally of shutting down tight ends, and like it's not really even close to the middle of the league what happens there. 2 for 19 yards on the 26th of January in that playoff game this past year, and 2 for 8 yards when they played in the regular season. So those are the last 2 times Kelce's faced the Chiefs. Is he a different version of himself now? Maybe that's part of the discussion, Andy, where he could, but I kind of like the under actually with receptions there, because I do think it's like, okay, fine. If their defense is schemed toward limiting tight ends and we've got a great one and they're going to just shut him down, okay, it's going to be Rashee Rice over the middle all day. Like probably means receptions over for Rice if I'm leaning under on Kelce. And then maybe even Worthy gets more stuff near the line of scrimmage where that's just the way that their defense schemes it up and they're able to combat him that way.
That is fascinating because again, if you think Kelce isn't going to get his requisite receptions, well, then you should parlay that with Rice going over.
Rice is
stuff.
7.5, or excuse me, 6.5 with minus money, and I love over. I would say this is in the betting community jurisdiction of legality. They'd call it a ladder. I would do the ladder with Rice over 6.5, over 7.5, over 8.5, over 9.5. He could get 10 receptions in this game if there are enough possessions. That's the one thing that could just. This game could be 27-23, and there could be no punts, but every possession lasts 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, did we really get enough action to get, like, nobody's going to be hurrying up with the football. I would bet you that these 2 teams rate more toward the bottom of the league in terms of pace. I'm going to look that up. Doesn't it feel like these 2 teams are like, let's hold the ball. They
take forever, man. Yeah.
They take forever.
Yeah.
And like that, there's a reason that some of the best teams in the NFL do that, I think, because I think they understand the value of holding on to the football. And when they're facing a potential, Hall of Famer on the other side, that's kind of the way that you want to do it. I'm right. When it comes to Buffalo, they are the slowest team in the league. 31.9 seconds per play. That is 32nd. The Chiefs are 19th. So they've maybe giddied up a little bit compared to past years, but that's still 19th in the league at 30 seconds per play. So yeah, you're going to see drawn out possessions if I had to guess in this game.
573-875 KTGR if you want to call or text us with your over-unders for the Bills and the Chiefs coming up in Buffalo. And yeah, I mean, with the way that both of these offenses might try to match each other at over or under 3.5 total punts combined.
I mean, this could clear by the end of the first quarter. It really could. Or it could be a game where as long as these offenses get to the 50, they're not punting. So I'm going to say under. Like, I think you're going to see possessions where the 30 to the 50 ends up being kind of manageable and that both teams are able to do it. And then as you start to creep toward the red zone, here we go. It's going to tighten up a little bit. I hope that's the game we see anyway, because it's more compelling. But both these teams are going to go for every fourth down in less than 5 if they're near midfield. So I'll say that we don't get many 3 and outs, because trading 3 and outs is what would end up leading to more punts. But I think you'll get some early success in these drives, and then it tightens up as you get nearer to the red zone. So yeah, I'll say under on the 3.5 punts. I don't know what odds would be on that. That's one we made up.
It's a pretty low number. It's a high bar to clear for that. Just for reference, in the playoff game last year, they had 4 total punts. In the regular season game, they had 7 last year between them. But
I think both offenses are cooking right now.
Yeah, and last year, like, there was 1 turnover last year. And so, like, turnovers can be the side of that limit the number of punts there are if teams are just, if defenses are just getting their hands on the football a bunch.
But I kind of like under for the game total, 52.5. I know how good these offenses are, but I think limited possessions and it won't be perfect red zone efficiency on either side. You will have to settle for 3. You will have to settle for a fourth down conversion that you don't get. I think that will lead to a score in the 20s, that maybe goes a little bit under that 52.5.
Interesting.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Give me every point.
I mean,
that would be fun.
If there is a back and forth type of mentality to it, then that'd be awesome. Cody says the tight end stat doesn't mean much. Bills haven't faced very many good tight ends, and teams have run the ball like crazy against them.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid. I love looking at these kind of in stats about positional, because you can get into it with the player props or whatever it is. It can be fun to kind of look at those things. Just looking at their schedule, but Hunter Henry has big games at times. Kyle Pitts has had good games. They faced him. Saints not a lot with Jawan Johnson as their tight end. Dolphins don't have a ton at tight end. The Jets weren't really using Mason Taylor. But you can look at that early game against the Ravens, I believe was one where Mark Andrews was kind of MIA. 1 catch for 5 yards. So it's I'm not saying that current Mark Andrews is on par with current Kelce. I think Kelce's the better player, better pass catcher at this point in their respective careers. But that's at least one example where that's a guy that's definitely had a nice career as a tight end. And Lamar was obviously healthy for that game. And it was 41-40, and Andrews had 1 catch. So there is a little bit to the stat, I think. When it's that pronounced, it's not like they're kind of toward the bottom of the league. 18 receptions in 7 games is very minimal.
That is not a lot. It's a lot of great production. It's a lot of focus to the position, making sure that players don't split out against you that way. So we'll see how Buffalo tries to translate that against Kelce. Adam texts in over under 4.5 fourth down conversions between both teams.
See, conversions is hard, but I bet there will be over, 5.5, 6.5 attempts. I'll take the over. There's not a number you could put it at that I wouldn't take the over.
Yeah.
I'll say they get it, though. These offenses know what they're doing. Over 4.5. Yeah, I'll take that.
The last year in the playoff game, there were 5 combined between them, and the Bills had 4 of them. The last year in the regular season game, there was only 1. Now, I think the change this year, Andy Reid has gone for it a lot more now.
A lot of coaches are doing that too, but Andy Reid has definitely done it.
I mean, Andy Reid was kind of the last of the party on it in a sense, but he was very, very much conservative in a lot of those spots. But he has let them be aggressive. He doesn't
have a world-class kicker anymore that there's confidence in. I think that's part of it too.
Oh, I don't think you're wrong.
That's the thing. I think it's a combo of that and just kind of getting with the times.
You're also more confident in Mahomes and your ability to have him.
They have a complete offense now.
Yeah.
I think they always had confidence in Mahomes, but they have a complete offense and comfort in everything they're doing, I think, on that side of the ball right now.
Yeah, especially the protection. That was the main thing. Just to make sure you're protecting. But now that they have that to a much better degree, they're more confident in those spots. So, yeah, I think I would say over for Adam's question. 4.5 fourth down conversions, I would say that, yeah, that actually does.
And that's
get over
probably
that
something, if it were out there on a market, it would be plus money. I'd say that's the underdog choice. I'm still saying over.
Yeah.
Despite that.
So call or text us with your over-unders for Chiefs Bills coming up Sunday, 573-875-KTGR. Up next, we check in with Mizzou women's basketball coach Kellie Harper. Of course, exhibition game did not go the Tigers' way, but as we played you the sound from Natalie Jones, sports director for ABC 17 yesterday, how Kellie Harper wants to have her team respond to it. She told us more about that mentality as she joins us next to preview the 25-26 women's basketball season here on The Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app.
Miss the latest edition of The Big Show? Catch up on demand with a full show podcast on the KTGR app. Download it now, wherever you get your apps.
Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. It's available to play in Missouri, so you can turn your basketball knowledge into cash right now. Playing on Underdog is as easy as going higher or lower on player stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Then you make enough picks to put together an entry, and if you get all the picks in your entry right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So while all the scoring ramps up this basketball season, be sure that you're scoring too with Underdog. Download the app today and use promo code KTGR to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code KTGR. Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/plan to get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
1851 Underground in Fulton is a unique spot with delicious menu items like the prime rib sandwich, sliced and stacked with pepper jack cheese, caramelized onion, creamy horseradish, and crispy onion straws, all on ciabatta bread. Grab some friends and check out the daily happy hour from 3 to 5, weekends included. Enjoy a craft beer or a cocktail. It's no secret, but it is underground. 1851 Underground Tap and Grill in the historic Brick District, downtown Fulton.
Columbia's best Black Friday gun sale is at Minutemen Defense. November 18th through the 29th, everything except ammo is on sale. Big giveaways November 28th and 29th, including merch, ammo bundles, and Cerakote packages. Don't miss Friday and Saturday specials, plus tiered savings on STAC gear. Shop their website now through Black Friday and use the code RADIO at checkout for a special Black Friday discount on your purchase. Visit MinutemenDefenseLLC.com. Minutemen Defense off I-70 in Rangeline.
If you're tired of telling that one guy that, yes, meetings are mandatory, and you're done doing so-and-so's projects because, well, they just couldn't get to it, then maybe it's time to revamp your team with MidmoHires.com. Post your open positions along with a description of the job, pay, location, and other info too. You don't have to put up with someone's shenanigans for much longer. Post your openings now at MidmoHires.com. Great local companies hiring great local people. MidmoHires.com.
Sons of insects, I am Barrett the Bedbug. So I've heard. I've also heard he bites humans by the hundreds, and if he were here, he'd wreak havoc amongst the bed sheets. I am Barrett the Bedbug, and I see a whole army of ants and rodents, spiders and bedbugs here, in defiance of those who walk upon two legs. You've come to invade as free bugs, and free bugs you are. What would you do without freedom? Will you invade? Hi, Scotty, and you'll live, but dying in your nests many days from now. Would you trade all those days for one chance, just one chance to come back here and tell the humans that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom? Oh, is that Steve? Never mind, Scotty!
I'm Steve with Steve's Pest Control. We will eliminate your pest problem and stop the fall pest invasion. I guarantee it.
Steve's Pest Control. Back to more of the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. You've got The Big Show on the KTGR app.
Back here on The Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Andy and Brendan here. Basketball season is almost upon us. Mizzou men's and women's basketball going to start on the exact same day on Monday of next week. Mizzou women's hoops gets the home game to start out as they take on Central Arkansas at 6:30. And here joining us, the new head basketball coach of Mizzou women's hoops, Kellie Harper, joining us here on the KTGR hotline. And coach, to be finally here almost to the first official game? From when you took the job in March and now to here, how have you seen the journey as you get closer and closer to it?
Yeah, it's been a journey. Obviously getting here, you've got to hire a staff. For us, we had to field a team in April. And we were excited about the players that we brought in, but then you have, when you're a new staff and new to a program, you've got to put in everything, right? So we started with install this summer, went heavy offense first, and then, trying to catch up with our defense and this fall. So, I think it's just a process. It's been, and at the same time, you're recruiting every day. So it's been fun to learn about Mizzou and the history and the culture here on this campus, and be part of football and be part of the excitement that we have here, and now hopefully create a little excitement of our own.
And you've done this a few times, taking on a new job and essentially building your roster throughout that summer, throughout that off season, and also putting the staff together. And I'm sure the process and the rigors of that has kind of changed with this new era of college sports. For this particular endeavor that you took on, what was the roster building and staff building like for you, and ultimately how it's come together over these last few months or so, specifically with getting the right people in the room?
Yeah, well, that's it. Your last statement's the most important statement. You have to get the right people. And this is the 5th time I've taken over a program. So been there, done that. I think the staff is the absolute, it's a huge priority, because you're looking long-term here. You're looking at people that are going to help build the culture and build the program and, build our daily habits. These people have to be people that are loyal and people that you trust. One of the reasons I chose Mizzou was I knew I could get the right staff here that made sense for this university and this city regionally. I think recruiting wise, experience in the SEC, experience at this level, experience in this region. I just think all that was really important. And they're great people. They're just great people. So I think that's where you have to start. Now, where the big change is, this is, like I said, 5th time doing this. The big change is the transfer portal. At the end of every year, I'm telling you, across the country, coaches are trying to figure out what their roster is going to be. You just don't know anymore. With players leaving, players coming in, so many different variables there. So that was, and it happens fast. So you have to make really quick decisions. You have to, timing has to be perfect to be able to get the right roster put together for your program.
And Coach, with all those changes obviously happening behind the scenes, you'd had the chance in the exhibition game against Maryville, to kind of see for the first time, putting that out there on the floor and seeing the way it meshes and the way it goes. Obviously, the game didn't go the way you wanted, but what's your hope in terms of the way your team is able to kind of look at that and take from that and learn from it moving forward?
Yeah, I think for us, we can look at that as, okay, here are our correctables. Here are things we can correct pretty quickly. And I think the ask for our team is more fire, more competitiveness, and just really challenging themselves. And we showed them various ways we could do that, right? And I think, it's interesting. You can go into practices with teams and we can be in there. We can scrimmage within our practice. And when you go out on the court with lights, with uniforms, with officials, with fans, it might look different. And I think that's when you truly get to see your team. You get to see who they are under pressure and who they are with the bright lights on them. And so I think that is valuable information for us as we continue to improve. That's going to be our biggest goal, man. We have to continue to get better every single day. And the more data, the more game data we have, the better we are going to be in helping our players improve.
And hearing your post-game comments after that game, it seemed as though that was a situation that you were probably aware of going in and kind of almost appreciative to have now the ability to kind of look to your team and say, this is kind of what we have been preaching and why, and then maybe it locks in a little bit more. Is that something that you think can come from a result like that?
Yeah, every coach in the country can take a loss and get some fire out of it, right? I mean, that's what we do. I've told somebody before, man, if you don't learn from your loss, what in the world you lose for, right? So I think for us, we have to look at it as, okay, here's where we are, here's where we've got to go, and now we know that here it is, the application of it, right? And I think for our team, we should have a lot of growth coming out of that game.
We're talking with Kellie Harper, the new Mizzou women's basketball coach, here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Coach, what importance did keeping around a player like Grace Slaughter do for your program?
Well, I think first off, I think retention is important where you can have it. It doesn't always make sense from program to program. I think anymore it's now a two-way street, right, with coaches. But I think for us and Grace in particular, she believed in what we were showing her. She believed in our vision. We believe in her, in our system. And it made sense. It was the right fit. So I think first off, that has to be there. There has to be a reason for each party, right? And then the other thing I think is just really important. She's a hard worker. She's a really good kid. She's a high achiever. She's from our state. I think there are a lot of reasons that it was just important for our program, for Grace to make that commitment and have that buy-in.
For sure. And when you have her and several other returners like Avery Kroenke, Abby Schreck, and others, when you mix in some of those newcomers, not only freshmen coming in, but also transfers, and in the way that you've been able to connect everybody coming from so many different backgrounds, as you now are towards the end of your off-season preparation, how now do you see the group as it has gelled, and how you expect them going forward to kind of build off of those relationships and put together a product on the court?
Yeah, I think that's always a work in progress. I don't think you ever check that box. I think when you're working on your teamism, your chemistry, I think you're constantly working on it. You don't ever stop. And let me tell you, we put so much emphasis on that this summer. Our returners were amazing. They were able to lead the way in terms of who we want to be. They were very open arms to our new players. By design, really good kids, people you want to be around. So I think that initial bond was there with our group. So I think you have to start with that. You have to continue to work through that, because listen, what we're trying to do is hard. Right. We know that. We know the league we're in. We understand the competitiveness now. Women's basketball, it's deeper than it's ever been. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to win games. And so as things get hard, as things get harder, as you go through adversity, as you hit road bumps, how you react is going to be imperative to how we continue. And not just continue the next game, but I'll be honest with you, this is kind of a foundational thing, like for this program. How we respond to adversity is critical in our growth as a program. And, we talk about it. We talk about, instead of finger pointing when things get tough, that's when you have to pull together. That's when you have to be tighter, bonded. And that's what we're working on.
And Coach, it won't be without a lack of challenge when it comes to this non-conference schedule. A week from today, you'll be on the road. A little more than a week later, you've got the border war against Kansas. What do you make about the way that the non-conference starts off this year for your program, and what excites you about that schedule?
Yeah, I think we're going to be challenged every time we take the court, and we know that we're going to have a challenge. regardless of who we're playing. Like I said earlier, wins are hard to get. Now, there's an expectation that every time we step on the court that we win. We have that. I think that's where you have to be. You cannot sell your team short ever. So we're going to prepare. We're going to play hard. And we're going to expect to win. But not to the point where you walk out there and anything is given. There is not a given win on our schedule. There's just not. That's just not how it's going to be. But the really cool thing about that is it's teaching your team to earn it and teaching your team to understand there's a difference between winning and losing, and your preparation and your focus and your competitiveness. That is what's going to get you a win. It's not going to be, you're not going to walk out and just because you play in the SEC, you're going to get a non-conference win. That's not the case. You got to go and earn it. And I think there's something, to be had about building some toughness and some resilience by having that mentality.
Certainly so. And with the first game coming up very soon, we're excited for it. Central Arkansas, the opponent on Monday night as Mizzou women's basketball kicks off the Kellie Harper era very soon. Great to have her here on the Big Show, KTGR. Thanks for coming. Oh, by the way, I remember in your introductory press conference, you discussing your love for horse riding over the last year when you were just out of coaching for a year, but being able to reconnect that way. Have the horses made their way to Columbia? Is there an update there?
Oh, yes. I drove overnight in a horse trailer. Listen, I can do a lot of things. I'm pretty versatile. So I drove overnight, brought my horses up, and I tried. People always ask me, what's the balance? How do you find the balance in your life? My family, my husband, and my children, that's the main balance in my life. But also there's just something really relaxing and gets your mind off stress. There's nothing like getting on the back of a horse because you better pay attention to what you're doing. So I will find opportunities about probably once a week. I'll go out to the barn before work and try to get on the back of a horse to de-stress my life. That's been a very positive thing for me.
That's a great way to do it for sure. So saddle up. It's Mizzou women's basketball season very soon. Central Arkansas, the home opener coming up on Monday night at 6:30. You'll hear it right here on KTGR. Kellie, thanks so much for coming on the Big Show to talk with us today. Good luck with the start of the season very soon, and we'll hope to talk again very soon.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate you having me.
Bet it is 4:44 here on the Big Show, KTGR, and the KTGR app. Like that stuck out right away. Like she mentioned, I gotta make sure I have time with my horses because that's an important part of my life now, and that was an important part of her getting a new job with Mizzou.
Am I the only one thinking we need the Kellie Harper Ahmad Hardy crossover with the horses? I mean, that seems like an obvious opportunity there for some content. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't have the TikTok. Sorry.
I haven't seen it out there. So if that has already happened, I apologize to the creator that did it.
All right. Under the Bus is coming up next. This would just continue to deteriorate traditions in college football, and I would hate if this outcome actually happened. And by the way, the LSU situation, it's still very laughable.
Still hilarious.
It's laughable at this point. We'll get to that in Under the Bus after this.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon, I'm Ben Hermes, and this live local sports center is brought to you by Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. Lee'sTireCompany.com. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco did not practice today and is expected to miss this Sunday's game against the Buffalo Bills. Pacheco left Monday night's game with a leg injury, and it came out yesterday that Pacheco suffered an MCL sprain. He is listed as week to week. Chiefs running backs Kareem Hunt and Brashard Smith are expected to play a bigger role for the Chiefs out of the backfield. Kickoff between Kansas City and Buffalo is slated for Sunday at 3:25. Mizzou Athletics announced today that the next Tigers home football game against Texas A&M is officially sold out, marking the 19th straight sellout for Mizzou football. As reported by Kyle McAndrews of the Columbia Daily Tribune, this breaks the longest sellout streak in Mizzou football history, a streak previously held at 18 games that was set from 1974 to 1978. Though not official, Mizzou's final home game against Mississippi State has been sold out, which is expected to extend the streak to 20 games. And Mizzou women's basketball forward Grace Slaughter has been placed on the Cheryl Miller Small Forward of the Year watch list. Tigers junior averaged 13.3 and 3.5 rebounds and points per game in her career and is recognized an SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year last season. Mizzou women's basketball opens up next season against University of Central Arkansas. Your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast is next.
I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner. I'm tracking clear skies and frost tonight as temperatures drop down into the low to mid 30s. Tomorrow we can expect sunshine to start out our Halloween. We'll see a high near 59. In the evening, clouds start to move in. Trick-or-treating temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s. Overnight lows falling down to about 35. I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
Chiefs Kingdom lives here.
This is the Chiefs Kingdom.
Touchdown, Kansas City! Tune in every Monday night at 6 for the Chiefs Kingdom Show, hosted by the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis. Hear from head coach Andy Reid and your favorite Chiefs players all season long. After every game, enter the doors to the Chiefs Kingdom. Monday nights at 6, powered by Macadoodles, Steve's Pest Control, and your total sports station for all things Chiefs. KTGR.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
From elegant weddings to corporate lunches with flavor and flair, Courtyard by Marriott Columbia brings the party and the pros. It's the home of Main Event Catering. And with every event, you'll get an award-winning chef, full banquet staff, and drop-and-go options for any size crowd. And the event center holds up to 300 guests with 8 flexible rooms. If you need help, there's a Marriott certified wedding coordinator on staff too. Book now by calling 573-443-8000.
Every single day, you're making a first impression on thousands of people online, and you might not even realize it. Your website has real marketing power. It can showcase your products and services, promote special offers, and reach a much wider audience through search engines and social media. And if you're doing it right, your website will change and evolve with your growing business. Make sure the first impression you're making is a lasting one with Zimmer Communications. You know business, we grow business. ZimmerCommunications.com.
Hey, Tiger fans, gear up for game day with Zing Zang. Score big with their Bloody Mary mix, crafted with 7 real vegetable juices and bold seasonings, or enjoy their ready-to-drink Bloody Mary canned cocktail made with premium vodka and 9% ABV. Prefer margaritas? Try their classic or mango margarita canned cocktails with real fruit juices and premium silver tequila. Find them at your local retailer. Zing Zang, taste the legend. And please, Zing Zang responsibly.
Hi, I'm Tristan Colon, Mizzou grad and 6-year NFL veteran.
I'm Charlie Stickland.
And I'm Sarah Stickland McDonald of the Stickland & Stickland Injury Law Firm.
In football, home field advantage can make all the difference.
The same is true when choosing your injury lawyer.
We're locals. We know the courts, we know the towns, we know the people.
Just as I protect my team on the field,
our family will protect your family.
When sorry just doesn't cut it.
Push back with Stickland & Stickland.
Hey, it's Molly from Billiards, and we're gearing up for football, y'all.
Molly, football's already going. Take 2.
Guess it's time to put on my cuddle duds.
Molly, that's not till November. Take 3.
Well, I guess we'll talk about the pumpkin spice menu items at Billiards.
Molly, at last check, we have nothing on the menu with pumpkin spice. Take 4, and you hate it.
When some things feel wrong, Billiards just feels right.
Yep, that'll work.
Looking on down for burgers and beer. Billiards on Broadway.
Whoops, don't know if I saved that.
Josh!
They can't shoot it straight on the golf course, but they can shoot straight on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Back to Andy and Brendan on The Big Show on KTGR.
It's time to go under the bus on the Big Show.
Do not keep moving things to SoFi Stadium. Just don't. UCLA, well, really, it wasn't UCLA. No, it's essentially City of Pasadena and the Rose Bowl have sued UCLA for allegedly trying to move its college football games from the Rose Bowl to SoFi Stadium.
Oh.
Yeah. Please don't do this. Like, I understand that UCLA's
Fancy.
campus is 26 miles away from the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
But it's not like SoFi's right there either. It's still a good distance away. I know attendance is dropping at the Rose Bowl, but let's not mess with this. Let's stop moving things to SoFi. Let's stop giving Kroenke what he wants, and let's keep this as is. UCLA does not need SoFi Stadium. They are in probably the most iconic stadium in all of sports. So why mess with it?
I guess because attendance is bad. I mean, and it isn't close to campus. I don't know the distances. It's a 41-minute drive from their campus to the Rose Bowl Stadium. That's tough, man. That I guess that's the decision you make when you're a student and you go to school there. It's like, yeah, you're not going to have the on-campus experience for that. But, I think what would help, they'll fill it up at the Rose Bowl. They'll fill it up better at SoFi if they play better and have the program perform better. That's usually the answer to attendance woes, no matter what. But it's not surprising that in LA they're trying to do something flashy and go to the flashy place. But it's kind of a bummer to hear about that. But the whole program has been a bummer this year. Fired their coach. We're the first to do so this year. So
I mean, if I had to make a prediction, I don't think it happens, and it definitely would not happen anytime soon. UCLA's current lease runs through 2044, but this is. I know that there's been a lot of change in college football, and conferences are not recognizable anymore, and there's a bunch of things that we don't do as much in this sport that we love to do, but it just doesn't happen as much. Let's not mess with this. Let's make sure college football games are played in the Rose Bowl.
And if you've got a lease, I mean, it's kind of that's the deal, right? You got to probably honor whatever the contract is. So
it would be unfortunate if it actually happened, but I mean,
under the
not anywhere close to happening. And of course, the Rose Bowl and City of Pasadena are going to sue to make sure that it doesn't. Also, under the bus to Jeff Landry, the Louisiana governor. I mean, we did it yesterday.
I like this guy.
You do?
I'm having a blast with this guy. Yes.
Oh man, this guy went on McAfee today and continued to spout off about his head football coaching job that he's got available. And I'm looking at all these other candidates saying, you want to work for that guy? Because that's what you're doing when you take the LSU football job. That's basically it right there. That's your boss.
I appreciated the questions that Pat McAfee asked him because he's like, I'm being serious. Like, because I was saying the same thing to you yesterday. Like, I guess he's allowed to be in charge of this if it's a state university and he's the governor. And Pat McAfee was like, you're not hiring the coach, right? Because you said you're not, but everybody saw you hold a press conference about the coaching situation. And people are kind of wondering if you're going to hire the coach. And basically said, well, there's the board and the governor appoints the board. So, like, I'm kind of over top of it. He's going to meddle.
Yeah,
he's going to meddle.
He told you who's going to pick this next head coach. This guy even higher than him. This guy,
Trump's picking the coach?
Yeah, apparently so. Something or other. In a roundabout way, it'll be tied back to him some way, somehow.
The next tweet that the president sends, if it's about LSU football and he names a candidate, as long as he doesn't talk about Eli Drinkwitz, I'm good. I'm good with whatever the president believes should be the next coach at LSU. I guess I'm good with it because, if it's not a qualified candidate, even better because Mizzou plays in their conference. So who cares?
Exactly. That's
under the bus.
Going to be the next question. How does Mizzou find its way around that team when they make that coaching hire? Oh, but God bless whoever has to take that job, man.
It's time for the sweetest thing in sports on The Big Show.
Several things are sweet today. Mizzou A&M sold out Every home game at Memorial Stadium sold out this year. That's pretty cool. How about this? Rockbridge and Father Tolton softball both today advancing to their respective state title games over in Springfield. Class 5 for Rockbridge, Class 4 for Tolton. They'll play tomorrow. Good luck to the ladies there. And this is awesome. Ben Askren inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. That guy, for everything he's been through over the last few months, double lung transplant, recovered from it, already a legend in the wrestling world anyway, and this is well-deserved from him, but an excellent timing for him to have this honor.
Yeah, some great news, and hope he continues to do well with, recovering and getting back to full strength. I'm sure that's a process, but that's a great piece of news in his orbit to hear about today.
Yeah, so very sweet things happening in the world of sports locally today, and so we'll get excited for that. We'll get excited for tomorrow's softball state title games, and of course get excited for Mizzou, Texas A&M, which is officially sold out now next Saturday. Up next, we'll help you out with your fantasy football teams with Play, Fade, Eliminate, and then Mizzou men's basketball coach Dennis Gates will join us at 5:25.
Sons of insects, I am Bart the bedbug. But Bart the bedbug stands 5 millimeters tall. So I've heard. I've also heard he bites humans by the hundreds, and if he were here, he'd wreak havoc amongst the bed sheets. I am Bart the bedbug, and I see a whole army of ants and rodents, spiders and bedbugs here, in defiance of those who walk upon two legs. You've come to invade as free bugs, and free bugs you are. What would you do without freedom? Will you invade?
Invade? No, we'll scurry off and live.
Aye, scurry and you'll live, but dying in your nests many days from now. Would you trade all those days for one chance, just one chance to come back here and tell the humans that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom? Oh, is that Steve's? Never mind, scurry!
I'm Steve with Steve's Pest Control. We will eliminate your pest problem and stop the fall pest invasion. I guarantee it.
Steve's Pest Control.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RUN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RUN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RUN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
KTGR AM Columbia, KTGR FM Fulton Columbia, K286CL Columbia, in Missouri's total sports station, KTGR.
I'm Christine Lisi. A much-needed lift for the Ravens tonight against the Dolphins with the return of quarterback Lamar Jackson from a hamstring injury. Not only is he back, but 2-5 Baltimore had its whole 53-man roster practicing this week. They could be a giant lurking in the AFC North and AFC races, says ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky.
We just don't know exactly what this year's team is going to be because the offense hasn't been whole and hasn't been healthy. And so this is a team last year that accomplished historical things. Like, what happens if this offense picks up kind of where it left off last year? And now all of a sudden, the AFC North is a completely different conversation than it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and so is their AFC playoffs.
Dan Orlovsky on Unsportsmanlike. Ravens 2 out of the division lead and 2 out of the final AFC wildcard spot. Cardinals preparing for quarterback Kyler Murray to return from an injured foot Monday night against the Cowboys. NBA Cavaliers center Jared Allen questionable for tomorrow's NBA Cup against the Raptors with a broken ring finger on his left hand. An X-ray revealed a non-displaced fracture.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
From Faro,
15 to the 10, to the house.
Bush,
Back to the wall. And it's got her.
and Arrowhead.
Touchdown. Kansas City.
To your speakers.
This is the big show, baby.
Get fresh takes on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Right now, this is The Big Show with Andy and Brendan on KTGR.
Well, it's Thursday, and that means we're going to play, we're going to fade, we're going to eliminate and get you set for fantasy football this weekend. Starts off with the Thursday night game tonight. Ravens, I believe, are pretty heavily favored over the Dolphins. We'll see if you have any questions about players involved in that game or the rest of the NFL slate. You can give us a call or a text, 573-875-5847, if you've got fantasy football questions. We'll get to that coming up here in just a few minutes. And then we'll be delighted at 5:25 to chat with Mizzou men's basketball coach Dennis Gates about the upcoming season for his Tigers, after we chatted with Kellie Harper of Mizzou women's hoops a little earlier on in the show. You can check all of that out very soon on our podcast page, ktgr.com, and you can also check us out on the KTGR app. All that's coming up and more, but first, it's 5 o'clock.
It's time for the Top 5 at 5 on The Big Show. Number 1.
If you want to trade away for curtain number 1, you can have curtain 1.
We're getting closer to the game of the year in the NFL. I think it's going to be that. Chiefs and Bills coming up Sunday at 3:25. Chiefs will be most likely without Isaiah Pacheco. No practice for him again today, dealing with the knee sprain. But I think it can still run through Mahomes, and the Chiefs can be pretty efficient offensively in this one. But it'll be interesting to see how the Bills counter it. We will see long drives. We will see takeaways. I think we'll see very few punts. But in the end, I think it comes down to who holds the ball last, kind of like it did in the last regular season game, and Josh Allen came up with the game-winning play. Kind of think that can happen again, but we shall see. 3:25 kickoff on Sunday, and we'll have our predictions officially tomorrow.
Number 2.
Number 2, your timing is impeccable.
The beat rolls on for Mizzou Athletics as they have sold out their 19th straight football game. Mizzou A&M sold out next Saturday. Next one, the last one of the season against Mississippi State at home at least, is also sold out. So that's going to continue to streak on into 2026, you'd have to think, as the Tigers have now sold out 20 consecutive home games at Memorial Stadium. Yeah, that's the momentum that they have built, and trying to ride it into what would be a big upset victory against A&M next Saturday were it to happen. We shall see. Lots still to dissect as that gets closer and closer.
Number 3.
Man, congratulations to Ben Askren. Inducted to the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, as was announced today, becomes the second Tiger to enter that hall, joining Jaden Cox. And to have that be announced this year after the trials and tribulations that Ben Askren has had to deal with his health, had a double lung transplant not too long ago after battling a nasty case of pneumonia, still on the road to recovery, but doing much better now, of course. And man, he had such an impactful Mizzou wrestling career. That is an excellent, well-deserved, and well-timed honor for one Ben Askren.
Number 4.
Oh, shanked it.
So Nebraska went ahead and extended Matt Rule, gave him a 2-year contract extension through 2032, bit of a raise, a higher buyout. So that would likely take him off the list of most likely Penn States. They'll have to look elsewhere, it would appear, if he was at the top of their list. But take another candidate off the board. The extension now going to Matt Rule, so we'll see who gets extended next.
Number 5.
What is the 5 fingers? Say to the face. Slap.
Ready to say it now. If Toronto pulls this off, just go ahead and give the MVP award to Trey Savage.
That's The Big Show's Top 5 at 5 on KTGR.
Call or text us at 573-875-KTGR. I mean, that was exactly what they needed yesterday. And
it was amazing.
It was awesome.
It's amazing what he has been able to do. And I think there's maybe a lesson to be learned. Like, if the guy's got it, the guy's got it. And they didn't rush him up to the big leagues this year. He was ready with big league caliber stuff, and they allowed for him to make that journey from A-ball all the way up to the big leagues and making a significant impact on the World Series. So that's been cool to see. If you want to double back, though, to a topic you mentioned there in the top 5. So Matt Rule extended by Nebraska. Take note. That's how you quiet the noise. If you were to want the noise to be quieted, that is how it would look. I'm just saying that's exact. I mean, that's what we're asking for. And it takes two to tango. And we've acknowledged that if, Mizzou administration, which it's been kind of reported that they're down to clown and get Drinkwitz the extension that, he feels he needs to commit long-term here. If that were to happen, Andy, it would be probably behind closed doors, and they may not choose to announce it right away. Announcing it right away, I think, would do wonders for, progressing the program in a really positive direction if such an extension were to take place. Now, if there is no extension, if one's offered, if one's not signed or reciprocated, like these are things we're just not going to know at this point in time. But it doesn't have to be that way because we're seeing examples across the sport. And I think Nebraska is actually an excellent example relative to Missouri because Nebraska is not going to playoff this year. They're having a season that I think they picked up a couple of losses already, having a good year, not a great year. And, Mizzou, it's still on the table there for the Tigers to run the table, Andy, but they know the noise is out there, and specific to their situation, Matt Rule went to Penn State, right? And so that's why they felt they had to get out in front of it. And I've seen the jokes about Matt Rule hasn't really done anything in Nebraska. His buyout is insane now if you were to fire him. That's the cost of doing business, though, if you think you have your guy, is to have insane buyouts and to have insane salaries for your coach. Nebraska said that's what we're going to do with Matt Rule to keep him here, and they did it, and then they announced it. So that's all I'm saying. That's what it looks like. If you're going to quiet the noise, that is an option.
It does make everything that Jeff Landry is saying just more and more ridiculous. You think you're going to break this cycle of ridiculous coaching contracts? Yeah, sorry, no, it's not happening. Like this is why. Because
now when Nebraska's buyout is $73 million if they want to fire Matt Rule. Nebraska is $73 million,
Come on,
90%
man.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, but like that is the cost of doing business in college football today, in college athletics today. That's what it looks like. If you want to be at the top. And look, Nebraska may not get to the top, but they're going to spend like it on their coach. And I am of the full belief that Missouri wants to spend like that on their coach too. Sure. We just have to find out if everybody can get together and if there's that interest to do it. And like I said, it's uncomfortable because for all I know, it's already happened. Maybe it's already happened. I would advocate, Andy, for if it has happened or if it's happening, probably announcing it is for the better. I don't think there's upside in holding it if it does happen.
This would be the time to do it during a bye week, right?
It would be the time to do it.
I understand you could wait until maybe you think you're going to beat A&M, and if you beat them, then that would obviously look a lot
be a great
better.
Time,
but
right? For PR, yeah.
To the same degree, like if it actually did happen, then I think now's not a bad time because then you can put it to rest for the week that you're actually preparing for Texas
playing the game
and
right.
doing all that. So I would think that's the case. But again, we don't know. Like
we don't know for sure.
I would think that Mizzou would love to get it done.
I would agree with that.
For Eli Drinkwitz's sake, it probably makes more sense to him to wait. That's just that's how I read the situation, at least.
If the goal is to maximize leverage, then I would agree.
Yeah.
If the goal is to put the program in the best possible position to take advantage of the chaos surrounding the portal because other programs have lost their coach and their players are going to be looking to head for the hills, that would be a real good time. You know what I mean? Like having that in place.
That's a good point.
Benefits Drink where he's at. But to your point, if leverage is a motivator here, he's going to have it and could elect to wield it. Time is going to tell. But I just wanted to point out and spend some extra time on the Matt Rule thing, because for those who would suggest that, they're not going to announce it if it happens. Why? We just have an example of exactly how it could look. So I'm just pointing out, kind of in an agnostic way, here's the facts of what's going on around the country. Do with it what you will, but I don't think it is crazy out of turn, out of school to suggest if those things do not happen at Missouri, we're going to be in for an interesting time at the end of this all. I know he doesn't want it talked about. It's just a fact, though, that I think the noise has ramped up to an 11 out of 10. And he might say, look, I talk about blocking out the noise all the time, so I don't really care what that noise is. I know I'm comfortable here at Missouri, and y'all are going to look real stupid for talking about this in a month and a half when we figure it out. But I want to focus on the season because we're playing for a lot that matters. And that's been his public position. And so, but time is going to tell. Like, the beauty of all of this is we get to find out in a month and a half or 2 months when he signs his extension. He'll get to say, I told you all along, that's what this was. I was focused on the season, guys. And then, but if it goes the other way, we'll also get to say, that's not the way that it played out. And so we get to find out. That's the beauty of it. I don't see a lot of value in arguing like, no, this is absolutely what's happening behind the scenes, because we do not know. But lay out the facts and we see where the chips will fall.
Call or text us at 573-875-KTGR if you want to weigh in on that. Let's go to Kevin here on the KTGR hotline to talk about it. Kevin, what's up?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what you got, Kevin?
So, I just want to say, I think, they're going to extend him. I think what nobody's really talking about, and this is just my opinion, is there good schools available? Yeah, but I think as a coach for somebody like Eli Drinkwitz, and I'm not questioning his desire to win and all that stuff, I think you can win at Mizzou at a high level. But I will say this, if you go to take an LSU, or if you go take a Florida job or a Penn State job, as a coach, immediately you got to get to the playoff and you got to win a national championship. And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, and I think it depends on where Eli Drinkwitz wants to be in his career and all that stuff. I don't question that he doesn't want to win. But my whole thing is this. A guy just got fired from a job, and his name was Mike Gundy, and he was able to stay at Oklahoma State for 21 years.
Yeah.
And he was among one of the highest paid coaches throughout that time. So the grass isn't always greener, and I think Mizzou is a place where he could be somewhere 15, 20 years. And to me, these coaches, nobody wants to talk about that, but there is something about being somewhere stable and having stability. And I think a lot more coaches are looking at it at that end than really rushing and trying to get a national championship. So that's just my thought. And we got to look at it at that end as well.
Yeah, and it's good thoughts. Appreciate it, Kevin, here on the Big Show,
I think
KTGR.
that's a brilliant thought, actually.
Yeah, no, alignments can matter a ton when it comes to that. Everybody on the same page, and Mizzou seems to have a good amount of that, certainly more than LSU at this point. Like, that's just a complete bleep show, right? And so, but here's the interesting back and forth when it comes to this. Like, Mizzou Drink has elevated this job, obviously. Like, Mizzou has shown that you can win here. You can, when things go really well, have a shot at playing for meaningful stuff, national championships, things like that. But it does have to go really well. I think those other jobs like LSU, like Penn State, can allow you to maybe get there quicker.
And the floor is probably higher.
The floor is higher, but then like you have the added pressure of, well, if you have a season that is below that floor, then the heat's really going to turn up on you. But that's the risk you take. Like, it is high risk, high reward. Like,
that's the profession you've chosen.
Exactly. Kalen DeBoer goes to Alabama. It's the best job, I think, anywhere. And he takes that and he kind of underperforms. He's already feeling the heat. Like, that's kind of, that's what it comes with. That's the territory. But it's kind of what you need sometimes in order to get to the very top. And if that's what, Eli Drinkwitz wants to do. Then...
That's why I respect Kevin. I think he had a lot of valid points. I think if we're honest and not just kind of trying to wish this away from being a topic, we would ask ourselves, okay, that's true. The pressure, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it. If you leave a place that you're stable and things are good, what happens if it doesn't go well at your next job and you get fired? Well, one, we've talked about these buyouts and they're pretty lucrative.
Yeah, they're a lot.
And so you're going to be okay either way on that front. But number two, I would look at it and say, do you think you get into this profession and you climb the ladder in this profession and you've got to have some ambition about you? Do I look at Eli Drinkwitz and say he's not very ambitious? I don't look at Eli Drinkwitz.
I look at him as very ambitious. Yeah.
So if you're ambitious and you believe in what you are capable of bringing to the table in a role like this, do you think you're taking a job like that going, what if it goes wrong?
No.
You're not thinking about that. You're taking the job going, I'm going to be the greatest. I'm going to be getting a statue at that place. You could get a statue at Missouri, but like the appeal to people like this, when you're in this high level, we can't even imagine like the level of his profession that he is, angling to reach potentially.
Yeah, like you need confidence, you need focus, you need drive, and like
Drink's got it.
And even
guys.
the folks that are at the jobs, like that are at Missouri's level, they all have that, and they all like strive to look for more. And so, like, it generally
and the
speaking,
lines are
everyone's
being blurred.
different, but like, yeah,
the lines are blurred. Mizzou could become the place that you land. It could become the destination. It kind of takes someone sticking with it long enough to prove it. And I mean, we've come really close already. You look at a couple of these recent seasons, we're a result here or there from that conversation nationally being even more relevant. But in those big time moments where we could push the boulder up the top of the hill, it kind of falls down on us a couple of times. And so we haven't quite gotten over that hump. And my concern, as I look at the lay of the landscape, you know me, I'm a tea leaf reader. This isn't me like reporting something. I'm reading the tea leaves to say, I look at how one might view that 9-game SEC schedule, which people have pointed out to me, Drink advocated for. He said there should be a 9-game schedule. They're playing 9, we'll play 9. But he also wants an expanded playoff. He wants basically half the SEC to have an opportunity to access and play into a postseason. So he knows what the schedule is coming up to be. And so, like, at Mizzou, could you go 7-5 next year? Hell, you could go 7-5 this year. At Missouri, it's possible. And again, I just use the argument that he's not going to fear something like that, taking a job, because he believes in himself, as he should. He's confident. He's a great coach. But it's also the other side of that. It's like, oh, the place that's so stable, supposedly, I go 7-5 for a couple of years, and people go, well, wait, what's going on here? Well, if I'm going to have a floor of 7-5 with the schedule that these SEC teams are going to have, there's some appeal to taking it from LSU or from Florida, or hell, from taking it from Penn State, where there's a much higher floor, in my opinion, because half the league stinks year in and year out. And so you can win the games you're supposed to, which Drink has never failed to do at Missouri. Like he's handled the business against those teams. You go to Penn State, and that floor, baby, it's 7-5, it's 8-4, and the ceiling is just as accessible, if not more so, than here. And that's what has concerned me the whole time. So that's why I talk about it and advocate, sign him up, because I think he's that guy that can lead Mizzou forward. They've already given him what he needs, and I think they'll be willing to even top themselves to keep him. Like, does Matt Rule deserve what he got from Nebraska based on his track record in Nebraska so far?
No,
not really.
Not really.
But that's the game. If you think you've got your guy, you have to go above and beyond to keep him. I think Mizzou's prepared to do it. I hope Drink is as all in as they are to keep him. And if so, great things are going to happen here. But it's uncertain right now, because we're not going to know for a little while unless they do the Matt Rule thing and just announce the dang extension. I would be pumped, dude. I would be so pumped if that happened.
I wonder if, like, just because Matt Rule could go ahead and take another job anyway, like at the end of the season, like he could.
I hear you.
Yeah, like all it did is just up the buyout number for a different school, and
that's what Blake Baker did, right?
Yeah, like
on a lower scale. He was the defensive coordinator, took the DC job at LSU. How's that working out for you, Blake? But like, that's it could happen. I'm not saying, but I'm gonna also go. It's kind of like when. I remember this conversation. It was with Williams Nwaneri when all the NIL stuff started.
Yeah.
And we were like looking at it and going, wait a minute, he can get paid as a Missouri high school athlete before he comes to Mizzou. What's to keep him from literally jumping ship before ever getting to Mizzou? Now, obviously, he ultimately left. But that fear did not materialize. He came and played, was on the team for a year.
Team for a year.
Right. And so, but nothing was really, at the time, contractually keeping him from just bailing after taking some money as a high school senior. My point with this is, like, those fears that we could have, yeah, sure, it could happen with Matt Rule. But how often does it happen? And when it does, it's a huge story. I feel like when something that just seems like it's not going to happen occurs. The Blake Baker one was a huge deal. It was a huge story at the time. I believe he was the highest paid assistant in college football when he signed that deal with LSU. That's what it took to take him. So I look at the Matt Rule thing, and if I'm a Nebraska fan, I'm sitting pretty if I'm a Matt Rule fan. Like, I know he's going to be my coach for the foreseeable future because of the extension today. Could it be the other way? Sure. But I think that's what it looks like to keep a guy. And if Ole Miss does it with Lane Kiffin, like if that happens in the next couple of weeks, Andy, because they're going to the playoff. And so if not, this story goes all the way into January for Ole Miss. If they extend Kiffin and it's announced, and we don't see that from Missouri and Drinkwitz, I will be damn near certain he's leaving at that point. That might be an overreaction. But if that would be the domino to fall, that then I'll be going, all right, if it's good enough for other programs in the same spot and it doesn't happen to us, and there's a lot of openings, that'll be the point at which I say it's over at that point.
And aren't Lane Kiffin and Eli Drinkwitz, aren't they both clients of Jimmy Sexton, I believe? Yes.
I don't know the answer to
Sexton wants to have his client sign one extension, then why wouldn't he want the other one to do it? Like,
I think you are tea leaf reading with the best of them with that assertion, if that's the case. I know Sexton's got a lot of these clients, but that's
I'll check on that. I'll make sure that I was actually saying something correct. But
it's not the bye week conversation I like to have, but like it would be different if there were other programs in the same spot and they're not announcing these things.
Yeah.
And like Matt Rule was different because he went to Penn State. And so there was going to be that obvious, you needed to quiet the noise on that one. That's louder than any of the other noise because of that. If it happens with Kiffin, though, because the assumption right now is Kiffin's going to Florida or or LSU, right? Isn't that what most people think? Is
people
he's going to get a
I don't
Godfather offer?
Yeah.
I think he stays.
I think he does too.
I believe he's going to get the extension and stay because of the fact that they're in the playoff, and he's going to look around and go, it can happen here. Unless he's unhappy. Like I saw the video of him kind of asking, can we please sell out our 60,000 capacity stadium for South Carolina? Like we're top 10 team, our players deserve that. Like that kind of stuff might get to somebody if they look at the Swamp and go, I can own this place. Or LSU and say, I could own this place. But if Kiffin stays, I am telling you right now, my like internal percentage of how bad this is about to get is going to skyrocket. So I really hope we just get Drink to be extended and then we can stop talking about this crap because I don't enjoy talking about it any more than anybody else enjoys hearing about it.
No, it's a hard thing to think about. 573-875-KTGR. Let's get to Marty here on the KTGR hotline for his thoughts. Marty, how are you?
Pretty good, guys. I just think that as you guys were talking about earlier, if something has been done, if agreement's been reached between the administration and Drinkwitz, I can't possibly think of a reason why not to announce it, unless they're waiting a couple of days for whatever reason that might be. But, I mean, honestly, the sooner the extension, I think, for everybody is announced, the better it would be if indeed that's what's going to happen. If I'm in Drinkwitz's position, and knowing his personality or thinking that I might know something about his personality just based on what we've seen the last few years, it wouldn't surprise me if he just said, hey, guys, let's bump the brakes on this a little bit. Sexton's his agent. Sexton's going to want to explore every option he can. Drinkwitz would probably be wise, quite frankly, to listen to what the other people say, use that as leverage with the University of Missouri, and then go from there. But it does create a lot of angst for us Tiger fans because I can't think of too many fans that would want to replace Drinkwitz for whatever reason. I think he's the guy, and I just hope something gets done, as you guys are indicating. Thank you.
Appreciate the call, Marty, here on the Big Show.
Only an idiot would ask for Drinkwitz to be not Mizzou's coach. You know what I mean? Only a complete moron.
Oh.
Just a little self.
Yeah, I would never know of anybody who would ever do that or tweet that.
We've talked about that situation, so I think we know where I stand pretty clearly. Look, yeah. I'm waving the flag when a lot of people would say like, hey, let's not talk about this. This isn't really something that is necessary to get into just yet because it's October. But yeah, I mean, we're in that spot now because I think there are so many openings. It's like the LSU one really tossed it a little bit forward. Don't you feel that one was like, okay, now I'm doing a counting game. It's a numbers game.
Really serious. 573-875-5847 if you want to call or text us. Keep weighing in. Again, the latest domino is that Matt Rule is staying at Nebraska with the contract extension. So another candidate potentially for other jobs is off the board. What does that mean for one Eli Drinkwitz? Up next, we look forward to Mizzou men's basketball season, which starts officially on Monday. And Dennis Gates, Mizzou men's basketball coach, will tell us about his thoughts on his team's impressive exhibition performance against Kansas State and what's to come for the team here very soon as they get set to visit Howard on the road to start off the season. Coach Gates joins us next on The Big Show, KTGR.
Breaking down the Tigers, Cardinals, Chiefs, and more like no one else. The Big Show continues next on KTGR.
Some people are willing to drive hours for their favorite whatever it is. Favorite glazed donuts from a local bakery, or favorite slice from their hometown pizza place. At Boone Hospital Wound Healing Center, people drive from hours away because they know they're going to get a specialized treatment plan created just for them to get them back on their feet. Visit boone.health to learn more.
Real healing starts here. Boone Hospital, Wound Healing Center.
Winter's on the way, so now's the time to plan your tree pruning. Here's why. In winter, trees are dormant, which means there's less risk of disease. Plus, without all those leaves, it's way easier to see exactly what needs trimming. The educated, licensed, insured, and experienced crew at Advanced Tree Solutions knows how to protect your trees and your wallet. But spots are filling fast, so schedule your winter pruning today at AdvancedTreeSolutionsLLC.com. Advanced Tree Solutions, LLC, your tree's best friend.
Winter workouts are fun? Sure, if you love fighting frostbite just to fight for a spot on the elliptical. This winter, skip the cold in the crowd and win $500 towards an at-home gym with Play It Again Sports. Starting on November 3rd, stop in, scan the QR code at the register, and you're entered to win. But hurry, your last day to register is November 9th. Win $500 in fitness equipment and enjoy a warmer workout this winter. Play It Again Sports in Columbia. Think of them first so you don't finish last. Play It Again Sports, ColumbiaMo.com.
Your to-do list keeps growing. Stop and breathe, because Bax Homeworks has the ultimate team for getting things done in 2025. Big or small, they truly do it all. So simplify the workflow and leave all that to Bax. Bathroom remodels? Check. Building the best deck? Yep. Patching the drywall? Easy. What part of they do it all did you not understand? Schedule your free estimate today. Then sit back while Bax Homeworks does their thing. Find them on Facebook or at BaxHomeworks.com. Bax Homeworks, getting your to-do list done.
Macadoodles does selection like nobody else. If you're looking for ingredients to make the perfect new drink, look no further. Why settle for boring? Macadoodles has you covered. With Columbia's widest variety of beer, wine, and spirits, you're sure to find something new and exciting when you shop with Macadoodles. Come experience the difference in selection at Macadoodles today. Macadoodles delivers world-class customer service and unmatched selection at unbeatable prices. Who does selection like nobody else? Macadoodles does.
Hi, I'm Tristan Colon, Mizzou grad and 6-year NFL veteran.
I'm Charlie Stickland.
And I'm Sarah Stickland McDonald of the Stickland & Stickland Injury Law Firm.
In football, home field advantage can make all the difference.
The same is true when choosing your injury lawyer.
We're locals. We know the courts, we know the towns, we know the people.
Just as I protect my team on the field.
Our family will protect your family.
When sorry just doesn't cut it.
Push back with Stickland & Stickland.
At Fuse 32 Marketing, creativity isn't just encouraged, it's essential. We're growing as a marketing agency, which means we're ready to grow our team of social and digital marketing specialists, graphic designers, writers, and producers. At Fuse 32, we elevate our clients' brands by creating bold branding strategies and bringing fresh ideas to the table. We are Fuse 32 Marketing, and we're always looking for the next wave of creators to join us. Fuse 32, there's nothing we can't do. Apply now at Fuse32.com.
Tired of calling Andy and Brendan? So are their wives. Then shoot them a text right now. 573-875-KTGR and become part of the Big Show.
Back here on The Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Andy and Brendan here. We talked with Kellie Harper, Mizzou women's basketball coach, not too long ago here on the show. And now we get the men's basketball coach, Dennis Gates, with us here on the KTGR hotline as the Tigers on the men's side start the exact same day as the women. They'll be on the road taking on Howard for their first contest coming up at 6 o'clock on Monday night. And coach, with your first look at your team on the court against somebody else in front of fans against Kansas State on Friday night, as you get that victory and you welcome in an opponent like that and you're able to put up 100 points on them, what was the main takeaway from what your group was able to show you that night?
Well, I was excited about the opportunity, so I thank Coach Jerome Tang and his program for willingness to start a home-and-home series. Next year, we'll go to their place, do the same type of exhibition. So I was excited about what I saw just with the opportunity. The film that I watched gave us great learning and practical learning environments and situations. I was excited to see guys like Ant Robinson be more aggressive, and Mark Mitchell. I saw Sean Phillips, some great things, but look at what Jaden Stone was able to do, and Honor Boateng. We have a very deep team, and I'm excited about the path at which we're growing, but also at the rate we're growing is very important to our upcoming game, our first game of the season, in addition to our SEC play.
You know, you mentioned two of those guys there, Anthony Robinson and Mark Mitchell, to not only keep those guys around in your program after such successful seasons for them last year. What then do you maybe see as them taking the next step as they enter this upcoming season? They're 1 year older, 1 year more experienced. How do you see steps for them as they kind of lead your team going forward?
Well, verbal leadership is one. I think both with the absence of Caleb Grill, Tamar Bates, they had to take a backseat to those guys' verbal leadership. Now they're in the front seat. They have to become verbal leaders. They have to be able to move the group, move the team in a direction and through obstacles and situations. In addition to Mark Mitchell, I think his rebounding per minute needs to improve. He's one of the best in the SEC, most versatile players in the country. He went to the foul line 212 times. So we look forward to what his growth has given us and will give him. Ant Robinson was a guy that played 20 minutes a game while impacting the game nationally the way that he did. Let's see what that looks like with a 50% increase in his minutes. And I think that will give him a volume of more shots, more assist opportunities, and obviously ability to get to that foul line. And he led one of the top defensive players, if not the best in our conference this year in a 5-man all defensive team. So it was great to see him.
Coach, I want to ask you about another player, a newcomer that you mentioned being impressed with from the exhibition game. Sean Phillips, what does he bring to your team in terms of some size down low that he can be dynamic in that position?
Well, Sean Phillips started 12 of his last 13 games last season at Arizona State, and he was able to get 8.7 rebounds and almost 2 blocks per game. That's the guy I want to be able to build upon, and we've seen it, to be able to get a double-double less than 20 minutes of play. His athleticism gives us vertical threat, but also offensively and defensively. It's not just one side of the basketball. He's a guy that can alter shots, but also block them. We got to make sure he stays out of foul trouble, but he's a young man that gives us something. He and Trent Burns give us something that we hadn't had, and that's the vertical threat, whether it's on offense or defensive end.
Really excited to see that play out, Coach. And I'm also excited to see another guy you mentioned, Honor Boateng. We didn't get a chance to see him too much last year, but what can you make of his growth and what he could provide to your club this year?
Well, with Honor Boateng, we've seen his development. We just got to make sure he continues to get better, and it's going to take him time, right? I think, yes, we saw some great things in his last game. It's just going to have to take some time for him to become more consistent. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most. I don't want to put too much on his shoulders, but he is a improving player for us, and I'm looking forward to what he brings to the table.
Dennis Gates, Mizzou men's basketball coach, with us here on the Big Show KTGR. He not only helps you out on the court, but he also, before the exhibition game, killed it on the saxophone for the national anthem. You appear to have leveled up in recruiting. You're not only recruiting talent on the floor, but you also have the knack for identifying players that also have chops with a musical instrument. How have you developed that, Coach?
Well, he invested a lot of time in his music background, and it was just a promise that I made of him and his mom once I learned that he was in a band. I said, look, you play for me, I guarantee you're going to be playing the national anthem to start each season. You're a part of our program. So we got 2 of them down, and I'm excited that he continues to share his skills and talents with the world, and that's the most important part. He's not afraid to show what he is about because he is a whole person. He is a human. And I want all my guys to be comfortable sharing the world with who they are and where they're from. We're all unique in our own way, but those are things that I think goes beyond just being basketball players.
For sure, and excited to see that come out of him. You've made no secret in the past about the type of roster that you like to build, guys that can kind of play positionless basketball at times, but have a lot of length, not just when it comes to height, but also just long arms, being able to defend all 5 positions. With the pieces that you put together, I mean, we mentioned Phillips, but also bringing in Javon Porter, even a true freshman like Nicholas Randall, if he'll be able to contribute here. Just how have you been able to see that aspect of what you want to build in a program develop specifically with this team and the parts you brought in?
Well, I've learned that under Leonard Hamilton, we've always had some really, really tall at Florida State, and obviously I know what it's able to do for you from a field goal percentage defensive standpoint. It allows you to alter shots. You may not block a lot of shots, but you can alter passes and alter shots a lot more just with that length, that wingspan. From a vertical standpoint, basketball is a vertical game. It's not played just on the ground. It's played on the ground, but it's not always played on the ground. So when you have size for position, I want guys that's going to play their natural positions at the next level as well. And that's how I look at it. From Ant Robinson all the way down to Sean Phillips Jr., these guys are going to play a certain percentage in their or a certain position in their professional careers. I want them to be able to do that while they're in college. And their versatility is what speaks for it. They got to be able to dribble, pass, shoot, think the game the right way, but they got to play both sides of it. And that has helped us tremendously identify the recruits, but also identify guys that fit in our program.
Coach, looking at the schedule, which tips off on Monday, I'm curious about the unique opportunity and your take on it of starting off at Howard and what kind of opportunity that is for your team and what that means to you.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at how that came about, we played a 2-for-1. They came to us last year, and we'll go to them this year, and they'll come back next year. So over a 3-year span, it saves money, when it comes down to your scheduling budget. And we have to operate under our scheduling budget. And at the end of the day, for us to compete how we needed to compete last season, we had to make a schedule that was suitable for home games. I didn't want to put our team last year in a situation where they had more away games. So the same applies this year. This is our road game for non-conference. We have 2 neutral site games, and then we go to Notre Dame as well. So it kind of balances it out, so to speak, but it also saves financially some money when it comes down to buy games. Usually some teams charge around $100,000 or $150,000 to get certain dates. We wasn't able to pay that amount for a single game, but we were able to maneuver and use innovation through scheduling to make sure that we're putting our team in the best situation.
Mizzou men's basketball coach Dennis Gates with us here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. And as you play that game and several of the other key games on your non-conference schedule, of course, preparing you obviously for the SEC, which when that competition comes, it really ramps up and I'm sure gets real for your team. How do you expect them to approach the first couple of months before that to ramp up to it and be able to kind of attack it as fast as you did last season?
Well, we have several, and I'll say this, we have several games on our schedule. And I truly believe coaching styles is what prepare you to play in your conference. There's a lot of great coaches we're playing against with great players. From Howard, Kenny Blakeney, he does a great job. Coaching took that team to the NCAA tournament in the last couple of years. Last year, he had his best player hurt. Same with SEMO. They do a great job. VMI does a great job. Minnesota does a great job, and that's a return game. But when you look across the schedule, you're looking at different styles of play, and we want to be detailed in the styles of play that we play against because that's what really prepares us for the SEC for the most part, and I'm excited about it. Now, at the end of the day, we know we play Illinois, right? When it comes down to Kansas, we had a 6-year schedule or a 6-year contract. It was home, away, and then 2 neutral site games in Kansas City. Well, we're on the last 2 years of the neutral site with Kansas, and I would love to renew that schedule or that contract moving forward. And it's something that I think our fans enjoy, our fans love. It's a treat to see two Big 8, Big 12 opponents go against each other. And the same with Illinois. Those are things that should always be on our schedules, both sides, because our history, our tradition, they love it. And it's some great atmospheres.
Yeah, and it's certainly added into the support that you've gotten over the years here at Mizzou. And now that you're coming off of 3 straight seasons, or 3 years where you've made the NCAA tournament twice, and now trying to do it again here this year, how important will that support be for this particular season? As you know, you get to those big time games that you're describing, the conference schedule, the home crowds, and everything like that. How important this year will that be?
Well, this year is very important. We have a great home court advantage. Our fans have shown up. They drive long distances, whether it's on the weekend or weekday, and they come from all the way from the bottom of the Boot Hill to up north from Kansas City to St. Louis and everything in between to come see the Tigers play. And I appreciate them for their sacrifices, etc. In addition to that, our student body, they do a tremendous job coming out and support not only men's basketball, but look at what they've done with football. That environment helps us. It's a new day with Missouri athletics. I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited about our venue. I'm excited about our current roster. In addition to that, I'm excited about our staff. Our staff does a great job, and they make many sacrifices to continue to get better.
Well, it'll be coming very soon as the Tigers open up on the road this year. They'll be at Howard on Monday night. Their home opener will be on Friday night as they take on SEMO. Great to catch up with Mizzou head men's basketball coach Dennis Gates here on the Big Show KTGR. Coach, thanks for taking some time to spend some minutes with us and talk about your team. Safe travels over to Howard, over to DC, and looking forward to the season. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, MIZ.
COU, it is 5:43 here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. It's a good one.
Yeah, some interesting stuff there, man. I liked what he said about the Kansas series. Do we know for sure what the status is? He talked like there's 2 more, but obviously COVID impacted the first one. Did they move it to the back and add it, or what was the deal with that?
It was originally 6 years, but it's not.
Correct.
I don't know how COVID. I think it just moved it back.
It wasn't going to be 2 in a row at KC to end it. It was originally KC to start, KC to end.
You're right. Yes,
which would be this year.
Yeah,
would be the last one. But if they
and then next year is the last one that's on the books. Yes.
So that's what I'm asking you. It is on the books for next year for sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was, but I think that maybe they moved the COVID one back.
Yeah, I think that's right. It might have bookended the home and homes, but yes,
it was the original schedule. But if they've added it onto the back because it got canceled, that's great. I wasn't even aware of that for sure.
All I knew was that it was a six-year deal, and they played 4 times already, and so they'll play these next 2 at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, and
run it back.
We'll see. Yeah, seriously.
Run it back. I love that he said that because we all feel. And you know what? Bill Self deserves some credit too. Like, he was mad at first, but he has come out and said, "All right, I get it." Like, it started with him for the charity game that they did. That was the exhibition, and he kind of was like, I saw what this rivalry means, and I kind of softened on it. And so I would like to think that they still now, are they going to be a little bit sad because Mizzou beat them last time? Like, that's part of the thing that I wonder about too, if they're going to be a little bit sour and they won't want to re-up. But I bet you Mizzou wants to re-up. There's no reason that they wouldn't.
I think so. So we'll see what happens there. If there's an announcement about that, hopefully soon. Call or text us 573-875-KTGR. We did not forget about giving you fantasy football advice with Play Fade Eliminate. We just got carried away with coaching talk.
I thought it was relevant though. Like, we'll get to your fantasy stuff next.
Yes, we will get to that next. Keep texting in your questions to us. You can comment on our YouTube channel and on Facebook too. We'll get to Play Fade Eliminate next on the Big Show.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon, I'm Ben Hermas, and this live local sports center is brought to you by Lee's Tire Company. If it's around rubber, Lee's sells it. Lee'sTireCompany.com. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco did not practice today and is expected to miss this Sunday's game against the Buffalo Bills. Pacheco left Monday night's game with a leg injury, and it came out yesterday that Pacheco suffered an MCL sprain, so he is listed as week to week. Chiefs running backs Kareem Hunt and Brashard Smith are expected to play a bigger role for Kansas City out of the backfield. Kickoff between the Chiefs and the Bills are slated for this Sunday at 3:25. Mizzou Athletics announced today that the Tigers' next home football game against Texas A&M is officially sold out, marking the 19th straight sellout for Mizzou football. As reported by Cal McAndrew of the Columbia Daily Tribune, this breaks the longest sellout streak in Mizzou football history, streak previously at 18 games set from 1974 to 1978. Mizzou's final home game against Mississippi State has been announced as a sellout, which is expected to extend the streak to 20 games. And Mizzou women's basketball forward Grace Slaughter has been placed on the Cheryl Miller Small Forward of the Year watch list. The Tigers junior averaged 13.3 points per game and 3.5 rebounds per game on her career. Slaughter and the Tigers will open up their season on Monday from Mizzou Arena, where they will take on the University of Central Arkansas. Your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast is next.
I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner. I'm tracking clear skies and frost tonight as temperatures drop down into the low to mid 30s. Tomorrow we can expect sunshine to start out our Halloween. We'll see a high near 59. In the evening, clouds start to move in. Trick-or-treating temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s. Overnight lows falling down to about 35. I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
All the hard hits.
He's under pressure, and down he goes. Inside the 20-yard line.
All the jaw-dropping moments.
Makes a man miss. 30, 20, near sideline, 10, 5, touchdown.
KTGR is your home for the high school football game of the week.
Oh, my goodness. It's the district quarterfinals as the Father Tolton Trailblazers visit the North Callaway Thunderbirds.
Coverage starts with high school kickoff Friday night at 6 on Mid-Missouri's Total Sports Station, KTGR.
Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. It's available right here in Missouri, and it is so easy to play. Just predict whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Then you use those picks to put together an entry, and if those picks are right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. There are millions of fans out there that have already won billions making plays on Underdog, and you can be next. And you can get a lot more bang for your buck if you sign up right now. Download the app today and sign up with promo code KTGR to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code KTGR. Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's that time of year again. Hit a deer, win a cow with FPP Body Shop. Listen, I'm not saying actively crash your vehicle into a deer, but if you do hit a deer, FPP will ease that stress with a $20 gift card to Fulton Worst House. And you'll be entered in to win the grand prize, a $500 gift card.
Man, I tell you what, winner last year had a cookout with every meat known to man. He all right?
Yeah, Billy. The winner will be popular again this year, too. With FPP, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Hit a deer, win a cow. FPPBodyShop.com.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Febreze.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
If you're fed up with promised promotions that never come through, or you simply feel overworked and underpaid, maybe it's time for a change. Make sure your job search starts at MidmoHires.com. There, you can browse lots of local companies hiring for their next superstar employee. Plus, these are local jobs, so you don't have to up and move your whole family just to find a job that you enjoy. If you're looking to move up the ladder, start looking at the job openings posted at MidmoHires.com. Great local companies hiring great local people. MidmoHires.com.
Holiday shopping at the big box stores is a decision, one that you're now regretting. At Family Pawn, you'll actually enjoy it. Every store's got something different too. Jewelry, electronics, tools, gaming consoles, and more. And with layaway, you can pay it off by Christmas without maxing out your credit cards and crushing your bank account. Stash it away and save cash every day at Family Pawn.
Not your traditional pawn shop. Family Pawn.
If it's Mizzou sports, it's happening here. Now, back to the big show on KTGR.
Again, thanks to both Mizzou head basketball coaches, Dennis Gates and Kellie Harper, for joining us today. You can catch those conversations on our podcast page over on the KTGR app, over at KTGR.com. You can also check us back on YouTube. If you are listening back, you can go and just, rewind and hear those conversations. Let's make sure that we fulfill our fantasy football obligations. Why don't we? With this, where's the music?
It's time to play Fade or Eliminate.
You sounded like the old man yells at a cloud. Like, where's my music?
Where's my music? Where'd it go? It's their
These
fault.
darn kids.
Yeah. Dang computer. All right, play Fade Eliminate. Let's start off with running backs.
Okay.
And I'll throw a few at you.
Okay.
Play Fade Eliminate. Zach Charbonnet.
Oh.
Tony Pollard.
Okay.
Kareem Hunt.
Oh, boy. Toughy. Charbonnet is getting by on touchdown luck only, basically. Sunday night games, always fun to have guys in prime time. But if they don't give them the goal line, which they have largely, so it ends up working out, but that could be a little bit iffy. Tony Pollard is ceding more ground than I expected to Tyjae Spears. So he is going to be, and not a high-volume offense with the Titans. So Pollard's my eliminate. Hunt, I just don't think is that good. But he's on the Chiefs, and they're going to be without Pacheco. So I think they'll trust him more than Brashard Smith. If you think Hunt scores a touchdown, that's the way to go.
He's going to, by the way.
So probably play him and fade Charbonnet because it's the same thing. I view them actually very similarly. The difference this time is Hunt also is going to get some early down work with Pacheco being out. So he's probably the play. Charbonnet is the fade because Hunt's more likely to score. I'd go that way.
Very interesting. Okay, let's go wide receivers here. You can text in your questions, by the way, to us, 573-875-KTGR. We'll get to them here, hopefully, before the end of the show. Play Fade Eliminate, wide receivers. Troy Franklin.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney.
Mm.
And Calvin Austin.
I'm going to eliminate Darnell Mooney because I was thinking he was going to have a great game last weekend and the Falcons stunk it up. And I just don't know if it's going to be a good game or a bad game for that team. And so at the Patriots, pretty good defense. I'm going to stay away from it. Troy Franklin was unbelievable, but we have to recognize he played the Cowboys and that he doesn't get to play the Cowboys every single week. This week, the Broncos play at the Texans. So that's a little bit of a trick. This is probably like a tough flex conversation. Against that pass defense, man, I would be hesitant on the Franklin thing, but Nix looks really good. Nix might be able to pierce through that Houston passing defense a little bit. Calvin Austin, is probably not a name that you would normally be looking to start, but home game against the Colts. We know the Colts are probably going to score points. They've been throwing and getting him involved a little bit. I'm going to lean into Troy Franklin because he's getting a lot of volume right now. Just beware, though. Like, if that's your flex conversation this week, you might end up a little bit disappointed because the matchup's a little bit tough for Troy Franklin. But I think there's more upside than what we've been getting from Calvin Austin, which is still pretty low volume in that Steelers offense.
All right, Jason texting us 573-875-KTGR. And his gauntlet needs a flex.
Still alive.
Kyle Pitts, Dalton Kincaid, Chuba Hubbard.
Okay, I like this, actually.
He says the tight end 2-point PPR.
Oh, for sure, then you're starting one of the tight ends. Chuba is the eliminate in that instance because I think they're going to give it more to Rico Dowdle. The coaching seems to indicate like they tried it because Chuba has the contract. Dowdle looks better. I think Dowdle's going to continue to get more of the workload there. So easy eliminate for me there. You listed 2 tight ends. One of them is playing the Chiefs, who have also limited tight end production pretty well. And so I would lean toward Kyle Pitts more so than I would Dalton Kincaid. Pitts is the play. Patriots, I don't know offhand what they've done against tight ends, but I do know the Chiefs have actually been pretty pretty good against him. Kincaid, though, doesn't he just feel like that guy that you're going to know in the first quarter if it was right to start him? Like he's gonna score a touchdown. He's going to be some games he's everything to Josh Allen. Other games he's ignored. Chiefs have allowed some of the fewest receptions, only 31 receptions to tight ends. I told you the Bills are only 18. Chiefs are like 6 from the bottom in terms of allowing to that position. The Patriots, I'm going to find it for you. The Patriots have allowed a lot to tight ends. 534 receiving yards. That's the 4th most in the NFL. Playing Kyle Pitts.
There you go.
I actually really feel confident in that one. So it'll probably stink for you, Jason.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Chuba
bud.
Hubbard will go off for 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
And
that's the way it goes sometimes.
That'll be the way it goes. If you want to text us, I'm sure we'll have a chance to answer at some point. We may have an extra version tomorrow. I don't know.
And by the way, I'm calling my shot. Calling my shot tonight. Ravens, Dolphins. It's a Derrick Henry game. Henry game. Play him on underdog.
Yeah.
Ready to rock and roll with Derrick Henry tonight.
Yeah, I think that's the play. All right. Thank you again to Dennis Gates and Kellie Harper for joining us. Go and check out those conversations on KTGR.com and on the KTGR app if you missed them. Tomorrow, well, who you got between the Chiefs and the Bills? We'll have that. We'll have our picks of the week. We'll have maybe a different points to the SEC rooting guide. Maybe not necessarily trying to wiggle Mizzou into the playoff, but maybe just, what's your favorite SEC team this week? That'll be the way that the rooting guide goes, I suppose. But join us for all the fun tomorrow, Halloween edition of the Big Show. Don't know if we'll have our own theme or anything like that.
Maybe I'll dress up. We'll see.
Hey, I definitely will. So
I was Connor Stallions one year, so stay tuned. I might come up with something.
There you go. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, Big Show, 4 o'clock. Join us. He's Brendan. He's producer Ben. I'm Andy. We're done for now.